going to be looking at Mariage d'Amour. Here we're going to be, as usual, you'll have me play for you a little bit, maybe 10, 15 seconds of music. And then I'll go bar by bar and I'll show you exactly how to learn the whole thing yourself, how to play it yourself. So here's what the music sounds like. Okay. So the first thing I'd like you to notice is how unusual the rhythms are. Not so much the rhythms, but the size of the bars. The time signature keeps changing. Right? The first two bars of the piece are in 4/4 time. 4/4 time means there are 4 quarter notes per bar or 8 eighth notes per bar. Then the next bar is 3/4 time, which is the same as 6 eighth notes per bar. Then the next bar is 7/8 time, which is 7 eighth notes per bar. Then 6/8 time, which is 6 eighth notes per bar. And then it's 12/8 time. Anyway, you get the idea. It keeps changing. The time signature keeps changing, so the number of notes in a bar will change also. The only reason I'm telling you this now is because as we're learning this, as I show you bar by bar this piece, it's very easy to get confused. Suddenly you'll notice one bar is shorter than another. You won't understand why. Well, this is why. It's a weird piece. It's got a strange time signature, continually changing time signature. So that's what I want you to expect. But the start, the first 2 bars, very regular. 4/4 time, which means 8 eighth notes per bar. We begin in the key of G minor, right? Here's G minor, right? G, B flat, and D, G minor. If you take that middle note, put it an octave higher, you give yourself a G minor in open position. And that's what we're starting with. 5, 2, 1. At this moment, I don't want you to have to stretch. I have a big enough hand so I don't have to do much of anything and I can reach. But if you have a hard time reaching this, you don't have to stretch at all. Make sure you pivot on the second finger. Second finger pivot, and then you can reach. Right? If I use pivoting, I can reach from here to there, right? That's a huge gap. So if I use pivoting, I make my hand bigger than it is. You should do the same thing. So 5, 2, 1. Then again, 2, 1. Then again, 2, 1. And then we finish the bar on a 2. That's your first bar. Then the second bar is exactly the same. Now, because in this piece we have so many changes of time signature, this is how I'm going to teach this to you. I want you to keep track of the number of eighth notes per bar, which should be easy because the left hand almost always has eighth notes. So you just have to count the number of notes that you play in the left hand. Because the piece begins in 4/4 time, that means there are 8 eighth notes in a bar. So when we play that first bar, we should have 8 eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we do. The next bar is the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Moving on, the next bar, the third bar. We have a change in time signature to 3/4 time, which means 6 eighth notes in a bar. In this new bar, the hand will simply travel up to C. But the position of all these fingers will remain the same, right? The distance from here and here is the same as what you had here. So it should feel very familiar. the pattern remains the same. The only difference is we only have 6 eighth notes in the bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's an important difference. All right, let me play all 3 of these bars, and I'll count out all the eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. You've learned the left hand. Take some time, get used to it, get comfortable, and especially be aware of, the pivot. I don't want you to be at all tense. Do not have tension in your wrist when you're playing this. It has to be free, loose, and relaxed. It has to be free, loose, and relaxed. Very important. Don't forget that. Now, the right hand. The first thing I want you to notice about the right hand is that the first note is a pickup. Right, the very first note that you play is a pickup that leads you to the second bar. Right? You know that the first bar begins on a bottom G, and then the next bar begins on a G on the bottom again. It's always the pinky that plays at the beginning of each of these new bars, right? The pinky tells you, okay, we're in the new bar. So when you play with the right hand, you'll notice the first G prepares the entry of the new bar. You see? So that entry is pretty important. Let's play just from the last 2 notes of the first bar on the left hand. That's what I'd like you to learn first. It's easy, but it's important. Once you learn this entry, then the rest of this is going to be much easier. Okay, practice, practice, practice. Once you've learned it, put it together with the beginning. And be able to do exactly what I just did. Once you've learned that, we can have a look at the rest of the right hand. So, those 2 we know. Moving on, we then have 2 A's, 2 B flats, 2 A's, and back to 2 G's. So that's pretty easy, right? Okay, now one small detail that I want to tell you about, because I know you're not going to do this, or a lot of you are not going to do this, right? I just showed you 2 G's and then 2 A's, 2 B. So what I know you're going to be able to do, or you're going to try to do, is you're just going to play like this. Most of you are going to probably try to do that, right? You just bounce up on each note, because it's easier that way. You're going to lift between each note. I would suggest doing something a little different because it'll make the music sound more beautiful and the phrase sound smoother, right? Instead of lifting on everything, you should only lift between 2 of the same notes. And the reason for that is because you can't connect 2 G's. To play a second G, you have to lift from the first G. You can't connect an A to another A. You have to lift the note to play the second A. Same thing over here. So those you have to lift. But when you're going from G to A, or from A to B flat, those you can connect, and you should connect. So this is what I do. I lift, and then arrive on the second G, and then connect that G to A. Lift, arrive, connect, lift, arrive, connect to A, connect to G. You see? So I'm connecting G to A to B flat, B flat to A, and A to G. If you learn it like that, your playing will be much more beautiful, much more professional sounding, I will say, because almost all amateurs play like this. And it sounds like you're knocking at a door. It doesn't sound very nice, I don't think. So that's what I would suggest. And of course, your pedal is going to help. Right? All of that is being connected with the pedal. Okay. So practice a little bit. Once you do this for like 10 minutes, you'll get used to it. And then once you've gotten used to it, we can continue. From here we go to thumb, thumb on D, across, second finger now. Connect the two to G. Connect the G to Fs, two Fs. And that now is already the next bar. So putting all that together. Not too shabby. Learn that, practice it. Once you've learned it, we can continue forward. Moving on. From here, the next note is an E flat. I'd like you to play that E flat with the third finger. Two of those. And then no more doubled notes. 2, 3, 4, 3. And you'll see that the fourth finger has replaced the 5 on F. Here. Okay. Put that all together. And there you have it. Make sure you've learned that very well with all the connections. And then let's put that together. Let's start from, we know that entry, right? So let's just start from there. What I want you to notice is when the hands are playing together, we have 2 right hand notes for every 1 left hand note. And the second of the repeated notes aligns with the left hand. The second of the repeated notes aligns with the left hand. You see? Prepare the left hand to jump up to C. Think about it. And there we are. Let's not go further yet. Okay, so there's our entry. When you get to this moment, the pedal changes. Change, as you can see. Right. When you're learning this, you can totally learn it. Pause, pause, pause. You know, adding those little pauses in there helps you to kind of see where you're going, then you go there. See where you're going, then you go there. See where you're going, then you go there. Once you do that a few times, you remove the pauses, and then the right hand is just very even. There's no long notes and short notes, it's all the same. Let's continue. Okay, so here we are in the new bar, the third bar. Right? That's where we align on the third bar. We know the left hand prepare the G, prepare the E flat, and then 2 notes in the right hand for every 1 note in the left. When the right hand finishes, the left hand continues until it's finished. There you have it. And notice that I'm still keeping track of how many notes I have in the left hand. 6 eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're off to the next bar. All right, let's put everything together so far that we've learned. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there you have it. The first 2 bars all have 1 pedal, and then when you move up to the C, pedal changes, and you have everything you need for the very first bar, or the very first phrase, actually, the first 3 bars. Okay, we're going to continue into the next bar now. We're going to do that in the next part of the tutorial. So follow the link and find the full series. And I'll see you there. See you soon. See you in a bit.